friends, how are you today? Sonia here. I have a flip through for you. I just finished this ocean themed journal on the weekend and I thought I would share it with you. It's got a Velcro closure. This is actually a piece of Velcro that came off a blanket. You know, the furry blankets, the fuzzy ones when you buy them at Costco, and it was nicely wrapped in two of these things, and I just cut it down and I restitched it and I added this little embellishment to it. And I used a book to create this cover. I cut apart a book. I used 4 digital kits for this book. In other words, I buy digital kits and I print off the paper myself, and I wanted something that was ocean themed. So if you like, you can take a screenshot of the 4 kits I purchased. I purchased them from 3 different stores. One kit was called 3D Coastal 10 Junk Journal Pages, and that's by the Wild Sunflower 1233 Etsy shop. And I purchased Seaside Haven Beach Papers. Those are by My Porch Prints Etsy shop. And that was just kind of background. These ones were very plain background papers, but in very nice pastel oceany type colors. And then I purchased a Coastal Journal paper pack and Coastal Journal ephemera by the store Fantasia Digitals on Etsy. So this cover image, this is from the 3D Coastal 10 Junk Journal Pages kit by the Wild Sunflower shop. Included inside, just a little envelope with extra embellishments. And there's little pockets and tuck spots. This is simply, it's called a writing board because this journal is quite fat. It has 3 hand-stitched signatures. So the idea is that you can use this to write on so that it's easier when you want to write something or record something in your journal. And this is just a little dangle I made with a little charm on it. You can see how that goes, a little mermaid. I've got a variety of papers in here to write on, and the nice thing about a journal like this is you can use it for whatever you want. It can be memories, it can be photographs, it can be artwork, and I even say, heck, you know, write down your grocery list. Use it for whatever you want. This page here, I just did 2 little accordion notebooks, and they're bound with lace. There's 2 of them, very similar. I'll just, why not, hold it upside down. And same thing on the inside, I just stenciled with some ink. And just some journaling tags, I stenciled on those. I have these lovely fibers thanks to a lovely lady in Chicago. Thank you very much, Linda. I really appreciate and love all the various things that you gifted me with. Just really cute little images. And here we have a couple of double tags, journal cards. These images are just little rub-ons. And I heat embossed the gold on here. That's how you get the gold edge. This is a fabric belly band. I just cut a piece and put it on there. a wraparound belly band. Lots of pretty pages. This is the center of the first signature, so I put on some beads and a shell and a little charm, starfish charm. Lots of writing space in this one. This one is a thrifted doily, and to me it looked like a clamshell, a scallop, so that's what I used it for. This little piece is simply a, they're like a wood cutout from Dollar Tree, a mermaid. And I stamped this image of a mermaid myself and decorated it, stenciled the back. This piece of paper it's on, I painted myself. It's tracing paper, and I used an acrylic paint that has a pearl finish on it. So that's how I got that really cool, I don't know if you can, if it comes out on the camera, but it's a shimmery sort of effect, and I like the way it rippled the paper. Just perfect for an ocean theme. And there's just a journaling card with my coffee dyed paper on the back. More of my coffee dyed paper. I do this in the summertime out on the table on the deck. This is a little pocket I made, and I thought this was cool. This is just a deli bag, you know, like you get a sandwich in from a deli, and I coffee dyed it in the summertime. And this is a heat embossed and die cut. This is cheesecloth that I dyed myself. And these are just little index cards. I picked up a whole bunch of them at a thrift store. I just used a napkin with Mod Podge, decoupaged it. This is just stamped images I did. Just a little bit of decoration on there and stenciled the back, but it's nice, lots of writing space on there. And this is a pocket, a doily pocket I turned into a page, so it's actually bound in. So we'll come across the other half of this. Oh, we already did come across the other half of it. The other half of it is over here. So I just did the same thing. I added a couple more of the journal, skinny journal tags in here. This I made, it's just, it was some packaging. And I turned it into a little, what do you call these things? Very tactile, I love it. It's got seed beads in it, and I put a little seahorse rub-on in there. This is a clothing tag that I just simply decorated with some rub-ons, ocean-themed rub-ons. And again, Linda, thank you for those lovely fibers. It's 3D Coastal 10 junk journal papers. I really like that one. They're really cute. I think they fit this theme really nicely. And another one of my coffee dyed papers. This is also one of the 3D. This is just ledger paper, some dyed tracing paper. And I made these. These are just pleated paper. And then I stitched and I glued on ribbon. And what I like about it is it's very nice and reinforced with this belly band here, which is cardstock. So it's the perfect place to clip a pen for the user to easily grasp when they want it. And here there's 2 of these journal cards. Hopefully you're having a nice day. We've got sunshine today, which is a good thing. It rained a little bit for a couple of days. Always need that rain, but this I did again some more of the metallic These were, if I recall correctly, the metallic watercolors that I used on a thinner paper. And just a journaling card. These are actually, I love to scrapbook photos, and whenever I go to one of my scrapbooking weekends, I end up with a lot of odd little pieces and strips of white cardstock. So I inked them and I turned them into this sort of collage here and simply backed it. This is a piece of paper. I did this with inks. I call it the splatter and splotch technique. A lot of fun. This is watercolor paper, but I simply did some watercolor on it. And more tags, more journal tags, more pockets. This is some patterned cardstock, little card in there to write on. More coffee dyed paper. This is the center of the second signature, and for this one on the binding thread, I put a sand dollar charm and a little shell charm, bead, and some ribbon, accordion pleated ribbon. More writing space, coffee dyed paper, more journal cards, lots of journal cards in this one. So the person has a lot of writing space, or to put photographs or whatever they would like, memories. Cute little seahorse. This paper here is from the Seaside Haven Beach papers. Like I said before, they're kind of a subtle background type, which blends well with the other ones that I got, this is Coastal Journal paper pack. This is vellum paper, which I sprayed with inks, watered down inks. Coffee dyed again. See, I can tell exactly where I dried this paper because this has the impression of our metal fire table out on our deck. I love the pattern it makes when I use it to dry things on. So hopefully you're not too bored watching this. This is just called a fabric flip. I put watercolor, nice thick watercolor paper behind it that well, guess what? I used watercolor paints, metallic paints on it to make that shimmer. I did some stitching up there. And this one's just an upholstery sample fabric, another upholstery sample fabric. I got a book of those from a thrift store one time. This is some quilting fabric that I just did a little rub on of here of a mermaid, so when you flip through, it's a bit of a surprise. Little silver crab charm. I happen to be a Cancer, so that's my sign. This is kind of special. This is a marine map. It came out of my father's extra papers. He had a marine map, so I was able to use this in this book. And this is just a multi-pocket that I created. It's got, I'm not going to pull them all out, but it's got 3 tags on each side. I just stamped this with ink and another 3 tags on the other side. Plus it has a card up here, a little booklet you can actually open and write inside. So that's a kind of all-in-one. And a tuck spot. This is simply tracing paper that I inked on and stamped on. And then just another little card. Oh, it has a seahorse. So there's definitely theme through here, as you can see, kind of consistent. This is a greeting card envelope I used to make this page here. And it's got 3 little tags. I just lined the inside with some paper. And this is actually a Bible page from an old German Bible. I think the script in them is so beautiful, and they're in the thrift stores. There's always Bibles sitting there in the thrift stores. They don't get bought, and I think it's always such a waste. And so this particular page, I was up at Rail Lake one summer and I did some leaf printing on it with watercolor paints, and I love the way that turned out. The pages are extremely delicate. They're very thin, so that's why this is reinforced by gluing it onto another stronger page. This is again the little scraps that I inked and put a little dolphin on there. This is the middle of the 3rd signature, and I just did, this says on it, a little metal piece says cherish, and I just put some little gems on the back of it. This is just a piece of jewelry. I used a fishing swivel to attach it. I thought that kind of went with the theme. Yeah, and they're just little, laugh, another little metal. So these are nice because you can use them as bookmarks, kind of to mark the page you're at. This says Meet Me by the Sea, and it's a coffee dyed. So I actually did the stenciling with coffee, and this is the other side of that Bible page that I was showing you before, the other half of it. And this is the back. This is another greeting card. No, sorry, greeting card envelope is what it is. But see, I attached it to the blue one that I showed you earlier. And this one's sort of special because, see, I don't know if you can read that, but it says, "Oh, Papa." My father, that's my father's handwriting. He gifted me a birthday card the year before he passed. And he wrote on it, on the envelope, "Oh, Papa," and I thought that was very sweet, and I kept the envelope, and now I'm including it in this journal. Just another little card. It says, "Escape to the coast and listen to the waves." Another one of my little stitched, pleated tabs. I like to include coloring pages. That's a coloring page I tucked in there. If you're wondering where I get coloring pages, I just pick up a coloring book from the Dollar Tree. So $1.50 for a whole book of all sorts of different pages. I've got mermaid themed pages now to last me my lifetime, I guess. And you'll recognize this. This is the same digital that was on the cover. The only difference is on the cover, I actually painted the hair with gold metallic paint, so that's why it looks different there. And this is a real clamshell that I glued on, and some half pearls. I also did some metallic color changing, kind of turquoisey blue here, and I did some other accents with a sparkly glitter glue, so it's just nice and subtle, but you can see definitely a difference from the original digital. And I just sewed this ruffle. I made this using Linda's, the fibers she gifted me, and I love it. I think I intended it to look like a little octopus or a squid, and I think it's just really cute. I just attached it to the fabric with a little bulb pin. Here's another one of my little dangles. This one's a seahorse, again, bulb pin with just some seed beads. This is the other half of the marine map page. I put 2 more tags here. These are napkin decoupaged onto tags. And this fiber here is from Linda, and these are the other ribbons are a lovely, again, something that was gifted to me from cousins of my husband on the island, so Vancouver Island. So that was, every time I make one of these journals, a lot of love goes into it, and hopefully the recipient understands that it's just really special. And I can't believe I apparently glued this. There we go. Somehow when I was doing this, I must have got some glue on it. Just another tag, index card, whatever you want to call it. Little dolphin paper clip, just from Dollar Tree. So here on the back, I just have a little folder I made. I inked this. I think it looks really sweet. That's just a stamp, stamping with ink. Little piece of old jewelry I attached there with a little piece of cheese, the cheesecloth that I dyed blue. I made this using tracing paper and scraps of paper and stamps, stencils. And then, oh yeah, there's this little one here. This is heat embossed gold, just a little folder I glued on there, another little tag with coffee dyed paper on the back. So hopefully you enjoyed that. I hope you're having a fantastic day. And may your week continue to be just as good. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.